Words of Elders, Part 24. Win without a sword. Become the king by carrying the cross. You don't need a crown to be a king. You need a cross. And when you carry it right, kings will bow, not because you shouted louder, but because heaven whispered your name. There is a price for power, and heaven does not hand it to those who lust for it. No, power from on high is given to the broken, the lowly, the burning hearts who have died to self and learned to serve when applause is absent. But hear me, and hear me well. The greatest test of a man's character is not how he handles failure, but how he handles favor. How he walks the palace halls without becoming drunk on admiration. How he remains small while carrying a mighty God. The sin of holy arrogance. Oh, what a tragedy. To see men called by God, anointed with wisdom, only to crumble under the subtle seduction of pride. They did not fall in the battlefield, but in the boardroom. Not in the valley, but in the court of power, where ambition wears a suit and betrayal hides behind smiles. I tell you, more men have fallen by promotion than by persecution. Ask Lucifer. He didn't fall from poverty, he fell from position. He didn't lose his wings in rebellion against man, but in competition with God. There is a danger, young warrior, a hidden snare that waits for the gifted, the desire to be seen, to be known, to be applauded. But heaven does not promote stars. It lifts servants. You want to walk among kings? Then study the gentlemen of the court, those men whose strength was not in shouting, but in shaping, not in their thunder, but in their tact. They moved with grace, not because they were weak, but because they were wise. Joseph stood before Pharaoh. He could have boasted, "I've interpreted more dreams than your magicians combined." But he said, "It is not in me." He pointed the glory upward. That's why God pulled him upward. Daniel stood before kings, but he never let his wisdom become his weapon. He remained composed, respectful. He bowed his knee to God, and kings bowed to him. Elisha carried fire in his bones, but washed the hands of Elijah with his own. You want to be great? Then pour water first. Wash feet. Learn to disappear in service before you emerge in power. This world says, promote yourself, brand yourself, rise above. But heaven says, humble yourself. Jesus washed feet, then sat on the right hand of the Father. Oh, this generation wants thrones without towels, power without purity, visibility without virtue. But God doesn't call performers, He calls crucified men. You want to lead? Then die first. I'm not talking to the crowd, I'm talking to the remnant, those